Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got an interesting show for you. We're going to talk about the Vols' secret weapon, and everybody keep it to yourself because Squirrel doesn't want anybody talking about it too much, I don't think. Anyway, let's get into this. And this is an article by John Adams. And I want to talk about John Adams for a minute. I've been reading this guy's stuff for so long, I almost can't begin to tell you. It's been decades I've been reading John Adams stuff. Now, I understand not everybody likes John Adams. I do. I like the fact that he'll just put an article out there and put his opinion out there, and sometimes it's not super popular. And that's kind of an old school journalism thing that Adams has been doing his whole life, I think. You know, he just puts it out there, and that's not easy to do when you're covering Tennessee. And, you know, let's face it, I'm biased. I love the Vols, and that's pretty obvious with everything that I do. But, you know, a lot of these old school journalists, they weren't they weren't trained that way. They were trained to be neutral and to see things, you know, without the rose-colored glasses or orange-colored glasses with some of us. But I've always liked his articles, even if they're a little bit frustrating. How you know that he's old school? Look at what time he published this. 5:17 a.m. Only, and I mean only, an old school journalist publishes at 5:17 a.m. I promise you that. So anyway, I've always liked his work. And he said, I asked Squirrel White what he would tell a wide receiver who was considering Tennessee football. He answered with a couple of questions. He said, do you like 1,000 yards? Do you like a lot of touchdowns? He said, how's that for a simple but effective sales pitch?
Message!
That's what I've been saying for months and months and months. If you're a wide receiver and you're not considering the Vols, maybe you're going to Ohio State, and I can understand that a little bit, but otherwise you must be crazy.
Get me out of here! Here, just eat that! Leave us alone!
Because look what's happened. Cedric Tillman, a two-star, he goes third round in the NFL, has a huge year, and if not for the low-hitting Akron Culls, he would have had a great second year, but he got his ankle hurt because they were hitting him low. They tried to take Hendon Hooker out. I'm still mad about that. Akron. I need to let it go, but it's just, if they'd have taken out Hendon. But anyway, then you've got, obviously, Jalen Hyatt, who won the Blitnikoff Award, and he might end up being the fastest guy in the NFL. There are reports that he is running 24 miles per hour, which is insane. That is just incredibly fast. And, of course, you watched him run by those Alabama guys, and those are five-star cornerbacks, by the way. You know, that wasn't some three-star guy from Little Sisters of the Poor. So yeah, the speed and also the effectiveness of how this offense works is a big part of the secret weapon. He said White is one of the many disciples of this high-scoring offense. It's easy to see why. And he had a great year, I thought, as a freshman. Man, he was fantastic, especially in the Orange Bowl, where he caught 9 passes for 108 yards and a 50-yard pass play. And Joe, I bet you Joe loves this guy. You know he loves Squirrel. And he's got tremendous speed. He might be as fast as Hyatt. So his confidence is running high at the preseason football media day. And I know that's normal for every team, but I don't think it's the way it is at Tennessee. I think they're confident for real, and they're fired up. Said Tennessee's faith in its offense founded in fact. They've scored an average of more than 40 points in 26 games under Heupel. And it talks about the defense. Danica Slaughter said, if we can defend that offense, we can defend anything. I would agree with that. That's why I keep expecting this defense to keep improving and getting better. And I always like to show this, the Vols' defensive scoring. In 2021, when we were just atrocious and we lost 30 players, we were 90th in the country, gave up almost 30 points a game. 2022, we dropped down to 36th in the country, 22.7 points per game. So the defense is getting better. And I understand the South Carolina game still is bitter for a lot of us, but they got almost a touchdown better. So, you know, they're improving. The defensive secondary is the key. But again, you're hearing the defense starting to speak in a much more positive way. So defensive back Tamarion McDonald, UT's fast-paced spread offense presents challenges in practice, and familiarity doesn't always assure success. He said, I can only imagine what it's like trying to defend UT's offense before 100,000 people. They'd all be screaming too. Said Tennessee's offensive linemen view the offense from a different perspective. The speed required to execute plays at the pace Heupel demands doesn't favor 300-pound linemen, and they've got to have a lot of stamina. But he said you can take consolation in what's happening on the other side. And that's really important to remember. I know there's a concern that we're not going to be able to recruit offensive linemen because they don't want to move at that speed, but we just picked up 3 4-star offensive linemen, so I think we can eliminate that concern. Also realize if you can make 4 plays, if you get a first down, let's say you have 3 plays, you pick up a first down, that 4th play is the last play a defensive tackle's got left in his body. After 4 plays, he's done. Okay, he's going to go through the motions, but I promise you his energy level is down 50%. He is not going to be able to attack because he's finished. He's 300 pounds. He's attacked 4 plays in a row. He didn't have anything left. And that's a very normal thing. This is not hyperbole. I heard this direct from several great players on Alabama's teams, Alabama defensive linemen saying 4 plays is what we got, man. After that, you need to get me out. Well, the problem is, yeah, you can swap people out most games, but you can't with UT because we go, and we stay with the same guys. So you can't switch out unless you call a timeout. So that's the problem, and that's why Alabama gets so upset at our speed, is they've got all these 5-stars sitting on the sidelines. The 5-stars that are out there are exhausted. You want to switch them out with your new 5-star. You can't do it, and that drives Nick Saban nuts. It absolutely kills him, and that's why he's trying to change the rules. He's complaining all the time, and he hadn't had any luck with his complaints. And that's a big part of the secret weapon is the speed and not giving the defense a chance to swap out their entire defense while they're exhausted. We just go.
Speed's what we need. We need greasy, fast speed.
Says listening to the guys, you'd never guess the Vols are having to replace their starting quarterback and 2 NFL draft picks at wide receiver. But fortunately, we saw a lot of success in that Orange Bowl game with Joe Milton. Says White has elite speed, a 10-400 meters guy. Talked about Joe Milton and his attention to detail and special mindset. Nico, obviously, said that's a guy that's mature beyond his years. And then you've got receiver Dante Thornton, which we're hearing great things. Said a guy that size can run like that is very rare. And he said, I know that's considered preseason hype, but the thing is, it's true. Now, Brew McCoy, who was an original 5-star, by the way, and an absolute brute out there, he caught 52 passes for 667 yards. He was fantastic on 3rd down, too, and he caught that special catch against Alabama. And he says McCoy runs like a linebacker because he's as big as a linebacker. Says the diverse skills of Tennessee's receivers aren't lost on the coaches. And you look at all the different sizes and strengths of our receiving core. Thornton over there at 6'5", Squirrel White at 5'9", Brew McCoy, a big linebacker, and then you've got your standard wide receiver in Ramel Keaton. You've got a bunch of young guys that are very talented, and of course you've got Cam Seldon, who runs like a 4.3, 4.4 40, and he's 210 pounds. So, again, you've got some real options at wide receiver. I don't know how you're going to be able to stop the Vols. I just don't. Not with the pace they go at, the skill players they've got, and don't forget they got a great running back room, and we run the ball over 50% of the time. Those 3 running backs, that 3-headed monster, all 3 of them are excellent runners. All 3 of them will hurt you. And he says maybe they can turn that approach into a recruiting slogan, we've got an offense just for you. So anyway, I really enjoyed that article by John Adams. I thought that was really well written, and I can see it. I can see what's happening with this team, and you can feel it. There's so much enthusiasm, and I know it's preseason hype and all that, but this is real. It definitely is. And the fact that Nico, we're hearing such good positive things about him. We know our backup quarterback situation's in good shape. Gaston Moore, we saw him in the spring game. He looked like a pro out there. So I think our quarterback room is rock solid. We know our running backs, our wide receivers, offensive line looks good. And your offensive line with this offense, because we spread the defense out so much, it makes it less taxing on them because they're normally having to deal with 6 guys in the box instead of 8. So you don't have those 2 extra guys that can pop in and try to get to the quarterback because they're over here trying to figure out what's going on over here. And if they do blitz, you're going to see them from 10 yards away because they're way over here. So I think this is a great time to be a Tennessee Vol. I just really do. And I know I'm very biased. I get that. But you see what this team can do and how quickly they can be up 4 touchdowns on a team. If this defense gets good, we're going to be something else. You know, our defensive line is rock solid. People do not run the ball against us. can we stop the pass? And if we're able to stop the pass, and it's going to happen, okay, it's only a matter of time. Will it be this year? We'll probably see an improvement. You know, there's really no other way to go but up after finishing 127th against passing out of, 133 teams. But they'll probably finish in the 60th or 70th in that. But that should be enough improvement to make us a very, very dangerous team. And, of course, if Joe Milton plays well, we're either going to win anywhere from 8 to 11 games. I'm sure leaning and hoping for the 11. All right, folks, at this time I do want to talk about today's sponsor. This is a new sponsor for me. It's Sevierville Golf Club. This is a great, it's actually two great golf courses, and I play them on a fairly regular basis, so I know quite a bit about them. They're absolutely tremendous layouts. They're a lot of fun, and the condition of these two golf courses they're as good as any place you've ever played in your life. They've got Bermuda fairways, of course, bent grass greens that roll really well, and the fairways are about perfect, especially in the summertime. Now, if you're coming up to Sevierville, you're looking for a place to play golf, the nice thing is there's two golf courses. So even if it's busy, it's not busy. And also, if you're just looking to practice, they have a tremendous practice facility right in the middle of the golf course, right in front of the pro shop. And it's also in great shape. And they always have high quality golf balls. I know if you've ever hit on a range, sometimes the golf balls are squirrely. These are really good. They have a full putting green. They have a chipping green. Anything you want to work on, you can. And the two golf courses. If you want something to eat, you can go into Mulligan's. They have a very nice 19th hole, get you some good food. And the food is good, by the way. It's not just pickup stuff. So if you're looking for a place to play in Sevier County, try Sevierville Golf Club. They have the course, the River, and they have the Highlands. The River is tough. It's probably for your lower handicappers. And then the Highlands is a little bit easier. It's a shorter course, more of a shot maker's course. So be sure to check out Sevierville Golf Club, new sponsor for the channel. And I play out there. It's great fun. Be sure to check that out. Again, Sevierville Golf Club. Anyway, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover the Vols, SEC, and all this good stuff. And we've got 30 days, folks, for the season to start. First game at Virginia at noon. And if you've not subscribed, it's right here on your right, my left. Just boop, hit that little button. I'd appreciate it. And right over here's the most recent video that YouTube thinks you'll love. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.